Games. Board games, board games. I might be talking about board games, but I'm not gonna shout. Some things matter more than others, and we should be kind to the players and guide their vision around and around, but make sure that the things that matter are easier to be found. Graphic design, I guess that's what I'm talking about. But it's also related to the design of the rules and everything, and I'm not gonna shout. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. 10 a.m. is UK time. Time for Busy Beats and Board Game Blether. Oh my gosh, I just realised that there was a typo. Not everything matters with an S. Yes, not everything matters. Make that obvious. Guide the player. So what I'm saying is that it's partially about graphic design, but it's also partially about when you've got a piece, if you've got like a 3D piece, that thing should matter a little bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's certain stuff that attracts our attention. I mean, we are still animalistic, simple creatures who, you know, like we still see movement from the corners of our eye that still attracts us. When there's a fast cut and some fast action, that gets us racing because we think maybe there's something moving towards us. And scanning like the horizon or scanning a board, we can't see every detail. We can't notice every single thing going on. So you think, okay, well, let's make sure that it's intuitive. Let's make sure that not just the graphic design, but let's say you're putting pieces onto ships like in and okay, are your ships going to be different cards? Are your ships going to be on a board? I mean, if there are cards, then the physical aspect of putting them down and then moving the cards away kind of mirrors that. It makes it understandable by having the shadow, by having that be a different physical object. That's if you are meant to be and playing with some cards in your hands and the only thing that really matters is the number, make sure that that is big. Now, yes, this is graphic design, yes, but as designers, we need to have a little bit of awareness of the graphic design in order to prototype, in order to make sure that people are able to play it, in order to make sure that our rules are possible. I mean, sometimes you can think of a game and then when it comes out and when you prototype it, you realize, wow, there's really no way to mix together all this information into this smaller space. It's important to think about the limits of what space you have accessible to you. Maybe even once you've gotten rid of the superfluous, illustrations, and obviously that's something that makes you smile. I mean, yes, having a little illustration on the board that's non-essential is enjoyable. It's kind of, I'm not going to say immersive. I never really feel like I'm a farmer, but it's vaguely resonant, let's say. It's yeah, you know what I'm going to say? It's evocative. Like, yes, I enjoy the fact that these are pigs and these are cows, and then obviously when you've got pigs and pigs together, they can breed, and when you've got cows and cows together, they can breed. And I'm not sure why pigs and cows can't go together in the same field, but I assume there's a reason. Maybe the pigs are too small and they'll get hurt by the cows. I don't know, but it makes intuitive sense. And then there's a whole lot of stuff that doesn't matter. And as you're playtesting the game, you need to make it playable by your players. And you don't need to, when you're making a prototype, have illustrations or have anything fancy on your cards. But what you do need to make sure is that the key information is there front and center. Yeah. Let me quickly talk about recent highlights, living life and seeing sights, recent highlights, playing games and other lights. Recent highlights. My recent highlights is definitely just having a wee cycle. I was like, I'm going to. I found that I struggle to get outside sometimes unless I've got a particular destination in mind. I decided that I was going to go to a bike shop and get some oil for my bike. I already have oil, but it was a thing that I decided I'd do. So I went off, was closed, cycled up, and I was like, oh, this is quite nice. I'm going to keep on cycling, listening to a podcast, wandering down, found a new corner shop like 5 miles away that sells interesting things. Bought a bit of ice cream, sat down, watched the sunset. It was lovely. And cycling, moving around, being outside, that was my main joy for yesterday. Brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? And I'm going to say sunset. When there's some cloud coverage, a little bit of clouds, but not, too much. Like I'm not talking about the skies in Iran where there's no clouds to be seen because that's not giving you an interesting sunset. I'm not talking about the days when it's all white because that's not the most exciting. But when there's a little bit of coverage and you get the purples and the pinks and the oranges and everything, sunsets, just brilliant. As always, please follow, but also if you've got any comments or questions, I do always reply to any respectful comments or questions. So please do just say hello or whatever. And my question to you is question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. Have you ever played a game and felt like, wow, this is just so muddy, I don't know what I'm looking at? Because the reason that I thought of this is, and I'm not going to name names of games specifically, but there's a couple of games that I'm currently playing on Board Game Arena where everything's just muddy and brown and there's no, sometimes what's meant to be a clear symbol is just a bit hard to notice. It's like, okay, I'm meant to make an aqueduct. Where is that? Is that part of the rules? Is this, or is this part of the feature? I'm not sure what I'm doing here. And yeah, have you ever been confused by a game board? Have you ever seen a board game and then been like, wow, I just don't know what to look at? And what would have been the solution to that? So when I think about the boards that I saw on Board Game Arena, for me, the main problem is that they try to make overly naturalistic colors, like maybe it's set in Egypt or in the deserts, and yeah, there's a lot of browns and oranges and yellows. But please, I mean, you don't need to use this kind of faded, muted, like use something stark. Use something, if you want to draw my eye, use a bright color. It doesn't need to be like a Renaissance painting. That just makes it hard to intuit, I guess. Hard to like I want something like a Kandinsky painting. Sure, maybe there's a bit too much going on there, but like I want the vibrant colors. I want something that says, hey, ignore all these browns. Like, boom, here's something to look at. And hey, this is the key thing, and this is the exciting thing. This is what's going on. I want the game to guide me towards what really matters. And that's basically what I'm saying. So if there's anything you want to share, something you want to do, something you need to do, please share. I promise I care. Over to you. What you're up to. You can share button if you want to. Today, again, my main goals are to, head outside, be outside for the bulk of the day. I'm trying to take like Mondays off and just going to be outside all day. And then tonight, I'm going to try and get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm having a friend over for board games and also doing some playtesting in the evening. So I'm looking forward to that. What are you up to today? Is there something you're up to? And recap and wrap up before we finish up. So to recap and wrap up, basically, you don't need to have everything be brown. You don't need to have everything be on the same size of token. If something matters more, make it bigger. If something is more important, draw attention to it with brighter colors or contrasting colors. Like if the thing's generally dark, make it stark white or vice versa. If it's generally pastel color, make it like something bright and saturated. And of course, remember colorblind people, but think about the 3D aspects. Like if there's something that really matters to everyone, have it in the center of the table, maybe. If there's something that matters to just you, have it just in front of you. It's basic stuff. But things in the game only matter to, like, is there limited scope to you? Is the scope between you and your neighbors? Is the scope like everyone? And think about where that should go on the table, because again, that really matters. Because not everything matters. And when I'm sitting down to play a game, I shouldn't be looking around and trying to analyze every single thing and then realize, hey, that was a waste of time. I should be sitting down. If I am sitting down to analyze stuff, I should be sitting down and thinking, wow, this is okay, I get that. Okay, how do these things interact? And there's a complex web. So yeah, I hope this makes some vague sense. As always, I'm stuffed by beds in all of the places, and tomorrow is episode 900. It's just going to be a quick thing, but if anyone else wants to join in, then you can join in. I will literally share the link on the YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So share, spread the word. Thank you very much, everyone. Lots of love, and the only thing left for me to say is bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, bye, everyone. Bye, bye.